being able to be in the Flaming Lips allowed me to create the Flaming Lips, and then I can create myself, and then I can create all the imagery and music, and I get to sing the words and not just write the words but stand there and say them. My main forte is I'm around a bunch of freaks who are doing crazy shit all the time.
Welcome to Scrapple TV.
We weren't even thinking that we were even going to make a record. You just are always doing stuff. And then once we got 5 or 6 of the tracks going, we started thinking, well, I think we should just make this a record. And then that quickly went to doing the other tracks. And I don't know, I think, you know, the enemy of all great art is to try to make great art. But it's almost impossible to think, we should do something that's going to be such, you know, meaningful and great and everybody's going to love it. It's like, yeah, well, no shit, you know. There's some gnawing uncertainty or some gnawing, you know, way. It's like, is this my life? Is this what I've become? Is this what I am trying to do? Is this what it's about? And or will I never know? Or will I, you know, I don't know. Probably something like the more you know, the more you fear about your life. I didn't work with her very much. I mean, all these things would happen very quickly, you know. And we made the video, and the video is funny. I mean, it's outrageous, and it's not everybody's gonna, you know, agree with it. But she certainly agreed with it when we made it, and so did her and her sister and her manager and everybody there. I mean, you don't just go in there and say, well, Erica, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna get naked and get in a bathtub full of blood, and then we're gonna dump it out. We're gonna put this stuff in there that looks like semen, and you're gonna drip it all over yourself. You know, she's in on it with you. So I was never under the impression that Erica would be offended by any of it, because she's in it doing it, you know. Some of her audience, you know, was just shocked or made it seem like they were shocked that she would do something like that with an artist like us. I think part of her said, well, yeah, I'll just play this up. But as we know, a lot of times in the world, the story of what it is bigger than the boring truth of what it is. But I think that we're probably still friends. Having records full of human blood that people are allowed to buy and stuff like that, that's just not a thing. This was the time that we weren't on Warner Brothers per se, so there were no corporate rules applied. Where we have our 2 charities there in Oklahoma City, the Humane Society and our manager Scott, his music school. And I think we did about $10,000 with that, selling those to people. So it's mostly for that. So Kesha's blood is in here. Justin Vernon from Bon Iver, Lightning Bolt, their blood is in here. Sean Lennon and Charlotte, their blood is in here. Erykah Badu's blood, Chris Martin's blood is in here. I mean, my doctor wouldn't do it. You know, I said, well, can I just come and have you take the blood? She said, I'll take the blood, but if I take it, I have to keep it. I'm like, well, no, I need to keep it. You know? And we worked out a way that I could get blood out of myself and could keep it. It's my blood, but it's a very weird world out there, you know. And the idea of putting the blood in there, we did that right there in Nashville with a big syringe. Had a big bucket full of everybody's blood, poured it in there. It was quite a big bowl, and we would put it in the syringe and then inject it in there. It was cool. You know, when I think about it, it's like I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I think the way I grew up is just really what I am. My brother's doing drugs, listening to music, being in motorcycle gangs and going to prison, but they also liked art. We liked to do painting. My mother was this, you know, this very optimistic believer, you know, whatever you wanted to do, you could do that, you know. My dad is this hardworking guy. He's like, yeah, but you gotta get up and work hard. And I see all those things is why I'm in the Flaming Lips. It's not because I'm a great musician or any of that. It's just, this is just the life. I'm living that life that I grew up in, you know. It just has never stopped. You know, when I grew up with my older brothers in the late 60s, early 70s, drugs and rock music ruled the world. You know, if I would have been 12 years old and wanted to be anything other than a rock star in that time, it'd be crazy. You'd be like, why wouldn't you want to do that? You know, this idea, when punk rock came along, this American punk rock that I think, you know, Black Flag, Sonic Youth, seeing them in real life, you know, when they came to Oklahoma City and they played, we got to talk to them and got to watch them and see how they did things. I mean, that is so life-changing. It's real people that are like you, doing this thing that you think maybe you could do this. You know, to have that as the spark and to see it in real life, it's cool. You know, something tells you, wow, I could do that. That's not grown-up people doing something more important than what I'm doing, you know. So all those things along the way, but I don't know, what would I do? I've got no real skill.